Because according to Deuteronomy 11:29, they were given an instruction that once you get to Canaan, you must go to two mountains. The first mountain is Mount Gerizim. When you go there, you proclaim a blessing there. But when you want to curse a person, you go to a mountain called Mount Ebal. So the people of Samaria were worshipping on Mount Gerizim based on that scripture. Now, the people who are Jewish were worshipping in Jerusalem. Why? The ark, when it came back, when returned, it was placed in a house of a man called Abinadab. From there, it went to a man called Obed-Edom, and David had to go and fetch that ark and bring it to Jerusalem. And so when he got to Jerusalem, he removed the three parts. He only had a tent, and the ark was at the center. There he appointed worshippers, 40 of them, to worship around the ark 24/7. But immediately after that, his son, by the name of Solomon, built a temple, and he took that ark, he put it inside that particular temple. But here is my point. The issue is, it looks like the Jewish people began to be proud about a place called Jerusalem, because now there is a temple in Jerusalem. So this is where we go, because this is where the ark of the Lord is. And it looks like now the Samaritans also had to be proud about their place of worship, because they are saying, we don't worship in Jerusalem, we worship on a mountain called Gerizim, because Mount Gerizim was next to a place called Shechem. They believed that this is where the man called Abraham sacrificed the son. They did not believe it was Mount Moriah. So it looks like the two parties are competing about a place. These people are saying, I worship co-restoration. It looks like where you worship becomes a very important issue. Who your pastor is becomes a very important issue, to a point where churches must try to be civilized and try to guard against time and try to decorate so that people can come to our church, because it looks like it's about the place. And now Jesus is meeting this woman. When Jesus is meeting this woman, they are having a conversation, and this woman ends up saying, you are a prophet of God, but I've got one issue. Our elders taught us that we should worship on this mountain. Which one? Mount Gerizim. Why? Because there's pride attached to this. But you are saying we must worship in Jerusalem. Just so I born. Well, this thing is about where people are worshiping, but there is no spirit and there is no truth. That's why they can worship and still sleep around. They can worship and still break people's hearts. That's why worshipers can worship and still. But the pregnancy in the house of the Lord. And now Jesus is saying to the woman, a time is coming, and that time is now, where it will no longer matter where. It's not about where you worship. It's not about the light you have in your church. It's not even about the sound you have. It's not even about your worship team. But the time is coming where the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit. So they will worship in spirit, but they must also worship in truth. Of course, they must not just speak in tongues and not have the truth. They must worship in spirit and in truth. Oh, worshippers are in trouble. It looks like the worshippers of today are men and women of the spirit. People who roll in tongues, but when you follow their lives, there is no life. May God raise worshippers as we are launching this ministry today. Those who are going to worship in spirit and in truth. As we speak in tongues, may our lives